What's up, guys? Welcome back, man. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. Y'all already know who we are, but for you guys that don't know, SimFBallCritic, along with Smitty and AzureEffect, may or may not be here, but most of y'all know him anyway. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get it started. We got a good show for you guys tonight. At least we think it's going to be a good show. I'll give you the topics here in just a moment. Like always, guys, you know, Smitty and I during football season, we're going to definitely talk about, you know, what our teams are doing at the moment, and then we'll get right into the topics. For you guys who are interested in knowing that up front, the topics tonight will basically cover quite a few, you know, quite a bit of things here, man, as far as we really want to talk about the dev cycles, you know, kind of understanding dev cycles. You know, we'll talk about everything from sports titles to how they differ from, you know, RPGs or your GTAs and games like that. And, you know, just kind of give you guys some of the knowledge we have, not making any excuse for any of these companies, but we'll kind of, you know, give you more insight as far as how the dev cycles go. We also want to talk about gameplay experiences. We have to talk about different experiences, guys, because your experience is different than somebody else's. And we'll explain exactly what we're talking about. And, you know, I want to shout out real quick, Smitty, before I even go further. Shout outs to, you know, VF and Bills. I know they kind of covered some of this as well on their podcast, you know, on Wednesday nights. They do a pre-recorded podcast, but they basically were saying that, you know, the online experience has definitely changed people's opinion, you know, negatively. A lot of the negative information or negative feedback comes from their experience online. So we'll talk about all of that. And then also acknowledging flaws. You have to acknowledge flaws in the game, regardless of what game you're campaigning for. And we'll explain a little more about that. But first and foremost, oh, wow, we got a dislike already. That's always interesting to me, guys, because that just goes to show you that you're doing something right. Because there's no reason with, 2 minutes into a show or a video, what is it that you could be disliking? So I'm always happy to get those because it just shows me we're doing something right. So thank you, whoever did that. We appreciate you. But anyway, Smitty, kicking it off to you in terms of, you know, your Lions, man. You got to be pretty proud about the Lions. I know I talked to you offline. So definitely share your thoughts on that, man. How do you feel about what the Lions are doing right now, and what might you be projecting for this week's matchup?
Well, I mean, it's pretty hard to call it. You know what I mean? We got a very tough matchup. Very, very tough matchup going up against the Atlanta Falcons. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, look, we got, who is it? That Vic Beasley is out, but Lions are out here balling. Okay, they definitely exceeded my expectations as far as their performance. So I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be high. I think it's gonna be very competitive. I definitely feel that the Lions are going to, you know, we got a fast defense. Okay, we definitely got a fast defense. Hey, sweetie. As y'all know, my daughter likes to come through and make her presence felt. But we got a very fast defense. I mean, like, Stafford is being very, like, he's definitely comfortable in the pocket. You know, he's doing his, hey, Stafford's doing his thing. Him and Cooter on the same page. Terrell Austin got that defense clicking. Like, that team is clicking. Okay? That team is clicking right now. And I mean, we got TJ Lang, you know, for those that are local. TJ Lang, he gets on and he does a show. He comes to the local radio show and gets on every week, every Tuesday. He gets on the line and he's on for like about an hour or two on the radio show for the drive home. So I'll be listening in, hearing what he got to say. And I mean, it's interesting because he straight up takes phone calls. Like, people call in with whatever questions they got. And he straight up answers them and everything. You know, he's not ducking or dodging. He's very straightforward. So, but man, I love the team that we built, you know, that like they're showing up. We got some pieces that are panning out. And like I said to Sim, I can only imagine if we had Kerry Hyder on that line. Oh my goodness, what we'd be able to do. Just like with what we're doing already is really nice. But if we had him, that would be something nice. Now, biggest thing, I mean, of course, you know, Julio is always going to be the big time challenge, but at the same time, the tight end coverage. That's always the big time Achilles heel. That's our Achilles heel, and also the rushing game. Okay, we gotta establish the run game, man. We gotta be able to do it. We did a little bit better this week. We did a little bit better, but I mean, it still is extremely rough. Okay, so they got a lot of work they need to do in that in that regard. But I'm looking forward to see what these guys do. It's going to be a fun game for sure. Like some guys had said in here, it's going to be a fun game. It's definitely going to be an enjoyable game. But, you know, I'm looking forward to my boys pulling it out. I believe they could pull it out, but I think it will be a nail biter if they do pull it out. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Wow. I didn't even realize until you said it and I looked at the schedule. I didn't know y'all had the Falcons this week.
Yeah.
Hey, man. You know, if a real fan, and I know Smitty feels this way, real football fans look forward to the real challenge. You know, that's going to show you where the team is at. You know, going against the Falcons, a good, piece of confidence you guys might take into it. I'm sure, the coaches will look at the game perhaps against the Bears, how the Bears actually could have won that game, which leads me to what I'm going to say about the Steelers. But, yeah, that's going to be the test. We're going to see what the Lions are all about. And again, guys, it's still week 3. Excuse me. So, you don't know what your team is fully at week 3, but if they look good this early, that's always a good sign. Now, speaking of the Steelers, man, I'll be fairly brief with that, guys. Hey, the Steelers, they won the game. My biggest complaint right now is offensively, we're still sputtering a little bit. But again, week 2, we'll see. I mean, if you watch football, you have to believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers offense will get going. But, it's a little concerning. But let's give the Minnesota Vikings some credit. Great defense. I mean, they've been tops like in the top 5 or so the last couple of years. They got a good run defense, got some solid corners. Xavier Rhodes did a good job. At times when he was tested, AB did get the PI on him, but I know all about Xavier Rhodes, me being a nose guy. I know all about those guys. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Dalvin Cook. So they're a pretty decent team. I personally wanted to see us face Sam Bradford. Disappointed me a little bit that, we went against, Keenum. And no disrespect to him, but come on, he's a backup. We all know that. I wanted to see the Sam Bradford that we saw against the Saints, that accuracy to test my Steelers defense. So I could really see where we either need to go or where we're going or where we're not at. So, as a real fan, I was upset that he didn't play. I wasn't excited. Like, a lot of times people will get happy when a certain player is not, playing. But me, I don't really do that because when it gets down, and guys, I'm having some trouble here with the throat, I guess. And my coffee will help out. But a lot of times, man, you want your guys to go against the best competition so you know what they're going to be at playoff time. Let's just face it. Outside of that, guys, the Bears, I'll be real brief with that. Don't sleep on the 0-2. I just said they had a chance to beat the Falcons. Let's not sleep on them. Do I think the Steelers are a better team at this point? Probably. Is it a high, chance that they'll get a win in Chicago? More than likely. But let's not forget real Steelers fans. Roethlisberger has struggled on the road last couple years. Let's not forget Steelers fans. Steelers seem to, play down to their competition. That's been happening in the last couple years. They got it together a little better last year, but y'all know what I'm saying. So I'm not ready to say this is a win, but I would like to see them go take care of their business and get out of there because Chicago right now is just not the best team, even though they had a chance to, at Atlanta, but that was game 1. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that. We'll see what happens, and I'll be doing my pregame tomorrow to give you a little more insight on that. So outside of that, man, Smitty, I don't know where you want to kick off at. Let me see. Somebody's asking. The game is actually in Chicago. What's up, Crunk? What's going on with you? Yeah, the game is in Chicago. And here's another stat. The Steelers have not won at Soldier Field in years. Mike Tomlin hasn't beat Chicago. That's a crazy little fun fact. So I'm just saying, you never know what's going to happen. It's football, man. Any team has a chance to beat another team. If the thing, you know, if everything falls in place at the right time, right place, right time, anybody can take a L. So, what's Smitty? Let's get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. I don't know where you want to start off, Smitty. Do you want to go into the dev cycle stuff, or do we want to dive right into the gameplay experiences?
I guess the gameplay experiences stuff. We could dive into that.
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and jump into some of that. Well, we basically want to talk about guys, and oh yeah, I see NYKia said he could see the Bears playing well against the Steelers. Me too, man. I'm telling you, I was nervous about the Browns game. Y'all saw how close that was. I'm just saying, but we'll see. But yeah, man. Oh, matter of fact, let's say this one more thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm off the Steelers after this last point. Who's going to be the quarterback for the Bears? Mike Glennon. Do y'all remember real Steelers fans a few years ago when that Tampa Bay team came into Heinz Field and they beat the Steelers and made them 0-4? Who was the quarterback? Mike Glennon. I'm just saying, things could align the wrong way for us come Sunday. But anyway, all right, man, let's talk about this gameplay stuff, guys. Now, the standpoint that we're going to, basically hit on, everyone's experience is different. And the reason why we have to talk about this is because as a community or just as gamers in general, number one, you can't go off of everyone else's opinion. You just can't listen to what someone tells you and then you that's the gospel. Can't do that. That's a bad way of doing things. Number two, you might be looking for totally different things when you play a game. You might be enjoying a certain aspect of a game. Somebody else may not. And then number three, the online component. Because y'all know, even in the Madden world, how many times, even our brother Azure would say this the best. How many times have we said, man, the gameplay is way better offline. It's just that experience when I'm against a user, some crazy stuff happening. So you got the online, offline aspect. But my point is, I just hate to see when games get this perception of being great or being the worst just off of one person's individual experience. Like, I just hate the comments, man, from people this game is the best game ever. And I'll be like, why? And they'll say, it just is. And I'm like, well, why? Because if y'all haven't noticed, me and Smitty like information. By nature, I'm a type of person that likes to talk to people. I'm easygoing. I can start a conversation, but I want to really hear your thoughts. So when I ask y'all these questions on Twitter, I'm not being a jerk. I want to know, oh, for real, like, what do you find great about that game, or what do you hate about it? And I want to hear what people are saying, because what I find out, Smitty, is people will tell me things like, well, there's this glitch that keeps happening every time I do this. That's the only reason. And they'll say, man, if it weren't for that, the game would be great. And I'm like, but all right, I get you. That's your opinion. But I'm like, how does that one thing make or break in the game? On the same flip side, I've seen people tell me that a game is perfect. I had a guy tell me this about 2K just this week. Perfect sports title. I said, oh, okay. So in what way? He tells me it just represents basketball. I said, all right, but what do you like about it? I said, because live, also is a basketball game. I'm not saying this, live is better. I'm just saying, what do you like about that? You know what he told me? He told me he likes the play calling. I said, so that makes the game perfect. And he was like, yeah, there's nothing else wrong with the game. Everything else is great. I love the play calling. There's no flaws in it. And I was like, so let me just ask you a question. I said, you don't have a problem with, some of the AI stuff or the body clipping, even though every game shares that's not an issue to you? And he was like, no. So I told him, I said, I respect that opinion, but let me tell you why I have an issue with both live and 2K when it comes to that. Every game does have body clipping, et cetera, but it's increasingly frustrating with basketball games, because those games, we could arguably say you're going to get more one-on-one situations. And I've been playing them both all week. And sometimes the ball physics is respected. And sometimes you just get that right through the chest, bring the ball up through the whole body in both games. And I'm like, I know it's a video game, but there's key moments where that's supposed to be a stop or a disruption or something. Something's supposed to happen. Or he doesn't get to that spot. I can't play the defense. And I'm telling you, I got an example. I'm going to actually do a video when I get to it. I'm going to show you the same thing that's happening in 2K in the same example in live. They both have that problem. But again, if any game I feel like needs to get that right first, is basketball, man, because we're looking at that one-to-one more than anything else. You ain't always looking in the trenches in Madden. You ain't always looking at the gun going through the wall in Battlefield. You know what I mean? You're not looking at the players way over there in soccer. You always looking at who got the basketball and who's guarding them. Every play. That's a problem, man. And I mean, it's way more things, but I say all that to say this before I throw it to Smitty. I think we need to. I would like to have more conversation with you guys, man. And some of you guys do a great job, but I would like to have more conversations as a community so we can approach our feedback in the right manner. Because again, us hardcore people already we're a small unit, so we need. Because I'll be watching the feedback. I'm looking at timelines and I just see people say 2K sucks, live sucks, and it's to the dev. But how does that help? So we need to have a consensus of what are the problems. Let them see the 100 people replying to the thread about ball physics, AI, rebounding. And I'm not going to steal Smitty's thunder here, but something that's popping up in live that used to not be there. I'm going to let Smitty take that. Wait till y'all hear this. So stuff like that. So again, I just feel like, man, your individual experience is yours. And we have to respect everybody's opinion because everybody is not viewing the game the same. But that's why we got to have more conversation, man. That's all I'm saying. I just see too much divisiveness in this community, especially with Madden. It's just so much of this. And I'm like, but let's talk it out. Let's figure out what's wrong. Because I'm telling y'all, some people, a lot of y'all not, Madden would be perfect if it only had a my career. Guy told me that. I was like, really? You have no problems with gameplay is perfect. I was like, wow, that's how he sees it. I'm like, okay, I gotta respect it. I mean, that's how he see it. He's enjoying it. Like, matter of fact, it's a guy, if Hollywood is watching this, he'll know because I saw him retweet it. It's a guy that posted a video and showing a play. It was the Steelers versus the Bears. He got a touchdown, and he said, man, this game is so effing smooth. I love this game. That dude is having the time of his life. So how are we going to tell that man that the game sucks? You see what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts, Smitty? I know you got a whole nother kind of direction you want to go on with that, but what's your overall thoughts on that topic, man?
Well, I mean, in regards to the gameplay, and like you said, we definitely need to have a lot more dialogue. You know, we got to have more dialogue going on across the board. You know, and it's got to be objective, not subjective. Okay, we need to cut the subjectivity out because look, I'm in a group regarding NBA Live. Okay, I was playing with a few guys that are in the group, and they were having fun. You know, we were all having fun. We were playing live run. We were doing some of the challenges or whatever, and I'm telling them while we're playing, I'm like, dude, I'm getting stuck in these animation sequences. Like they're literally snatching my control away. I'm going up, I'm in position. I got this big body, you know, post anchor defender, and my body size didn't even matter. It got completely negated. And if this was live 16, 15, or 14, that all mattered. My positioning mattered. It wasn't just a rating, and that's it. It was also the physical stature played like it, you know, it would at times play a role in whether you got stops or not. When I'm playing, when I'm playing in the post defense, or especially on step back jump shots, they pull you into animation sequences where you lose control for a certain extent. And then they give it back. Now, does it happen all the time? No, but it happens enough times that it's a problem. Now, I bring up these points in the group, and I single out the guys because I'm like, they were running with me, and I'm like, dude, they got me pulled into these sequences. I was losing control. And they was up here like, nah, that one you wasn't losing control. That, man, we was out there having fun, man. That wasn't control loss. I'm up here looking like, what the heck you talking about? The control is literally what's happened right there in the game. Like, it's right in front of me. I see it right there. The animations are happening. This is not a user-controlled or triggered animation happening. It literally kept happening like 7 or 8 times in the game. It would happen. So another guy goes to tell me there are more pressing matters to address in live. I'm talking about control and core gameplay in control and animations being respectively played out. And they said there's bigger things bigger fish to fry. Now, these guys are diehard NBA Live fans. That's if you had a single conversation, you would know that. They were talking about how 2K had all these issues, they got all these problems, blah, right? Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is that Live 18 is doing the exact stuff that these dudes would ridicule 2K about. And I'm telling them, like, yo, this is a problem, guy. And you saying it like it's not an issue. So when you say that, I'm like, well, thank goodness there are guys like myself, Sim, and others out there. Because I went on Twitter, and I didn't put it out there on Twitter way before. I didn't put it out there on Twitter for the sake of making a point. I just wanted to ask because this is stuff the devs need to see online because they're looking at Twitter. They see these guys, and the people that were talking, these are people that tweet NBA Live all day that love the game. And they're like, yeah, I get stuck in this sequence. I get stuck in these instances. They take my control away when this happens. That, and the third happens. And I'm like, so if these people see it, it's a problem. And it needs to be addressed, whether in this game via patch tuning or in Live 19. Does that mean the game's bad? No. I just got done. I streamed it last night, nearly, 3 hours? Like, I had fun. Live. Yeah, live is fun. And that new update they just did, I played it a few minutes here while Sim was talking. The gameplay is even smoother now. Positioning is mattering a bit more now. See, this is what I'm saying. Gotta tell these guys these problems. I ain't gonna sit up here and sit on my hands and be like, oh, well, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. No, there is something wrong. And that's what I'm saying. Live was known for having the control for the longest time. If anything else, they would have a complete identity crisis. They didn't know how they wanted to go with the direction of their game. But the main thing they had was control. They always had that. Live 18, I understand this is a new system. This is a new system in the sense of how they're building out these animations and how they play and such. I understand you got to get it. Okay, it's going to take them time to build that out. But I'm letting you know, guys, that control is being semi-compromised at times, and I don't like it. If I'm usering somebody, there's no way I should be doing some flailing animation when I said I want to go straight up and get a rebound. Straight the heck up. Live 14 through 16, if I hit it, I'm going up for an animation. Well, 16, they put that little two-man sequence in there at times where you'll just flail your hands up while the other person in front of you, well, regardless of how tall, how small, they just get the rebound from you. See what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is that, NBA Live 18, we know the game just came back. This is basically a big-time comeback for it. But I can't sit up here and...
Good Lord. Oh, my bad, Smitty.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at football, and this man throws an interception on the first play from scrimmage. Oh, Lord have mercy. Poor San Francisco.
I'm saying there's a quarterback named Colin Kaepernick that's available out there.
I'm
But
just saying,
just saying.
Let me hold my fist up
but,
for him.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So
wow.
But no, I'm just saying though that we gotta beat the drum when it comes to these gameplay issues, regardless of who it is, regardless of what we like. And that's the thing. You have people, I've been saying this since jump. Since we first came back from the studio, people expect us to come back and say, is Madden perfect or not? And I'm like, well, there are people that are going to like certain things in Madden. Well, 13 at the time, they're going to like it. But there's also going to be people that are not going to like it because they see those physics and they expect backbreaker. Well, they expected backbreaker back then. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's not going to be that. So I'm not even going. Don't even set your expectations for that. But that's what you got. You get a mixed bag. You'll be surprised the more you keep your ear down to the ground how you'll hear stuff. There are people that give a care about there are people that give a care about shoes and they give a care about cleats and mouthpieces. How many people's on Twitter about mouthpieces? When you've seen all these gameplay flaws being displayed, these videos and clips and stuff, all that being shown, man, where the mouthpieces at? See what I'm saying?
Smitty, I want you to hit on this because you said you played it briefly. Because every time when we see something in the chat, I always want to hear you guys more comments. So I want to point it out. I see Ray Sports Gaming. What's up, Ray? And what's up, Antonio? Antonio Wilson. They're both agreeing that they said they liked Live 18 better before the patch.
Oh,
so that's interesting.
Oh,
elaborate, guys, if you can. I want to know, a little more about that because I haven't played it since the update. Smitty played it briefly, and like you said, it seemed like it was playing better. So I would love to hear what else you guys have to say about that.
See, that's the thing. What I mainly saw on Twitter was that the gameplay is better from people that I follow, at least, that spoke on it. So I'm like, okay, well, let me dabble in it real quick.
Oh,
I'm like,
you know what?
Yeah.
My bad. I see what y'all are saying. He said I was loving Live 18 before the patch. So what he's saying is, because he came back and he said, I like Live 18 so much I'm passing on 2K. I guess what he's saying is,
oh, he likes it even more.
He already liked it even before the patch. So appreciate that. I read that. I took it. I perceived it the wrong way. See, guys? See?
Oh, okay.
See?
Yep.
That's how that happened. See how I took it? And that wasn't even how he was saying it. See, there it is.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, okay. I got it. Go ahead, Smitty.
Okay, but no, I'm just saying, with that, and I want Live to get better. I don't want people to be selective and say, well, this is what they need to work on. They'll need to work on nothing else. No. Whatever I saw, and those of you guys that tuned into my stream last night, you saw me cutting videos in the middle of it. When I saw stuff that wasn't right, I either talked about it or I cut video content because I'm like, putting this together as feedback to the devs. I do it the same way. I do it with Madden. I do it with 2K, even though I don't know if 2K guys going to respond or not, but I'm still going to do it anyway. But this, that's why I point these things out, man. And that's why we got to continuously do that stuff, man. Like, we just do it for the sake of the game getting better. It's like some people want to protect the game so badly that you just don't know you're hindering. You're hindering progress by not talking and speaking up. You got to do that. It has to be done. If you're a fanatic, you want the game to be the greatest as possible. Man, you should be slam dancing on the game because you want it to be better. Just flat out. That doesn't mean you don't love it. Hey, enjoy the heck out of it, but call out the stuff that's wrong in the process. I'm playing it. I'm playing it. I was having a good time for these few minutes. Now I have a slider set I'm using. I didn't change my sliders back, but I can still see. Even I'm already seeing a lot. Like the gameplay is looking a heck of a lot cleaner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm loving it right now. But I got to play a lot more, obviously. But I'm liking it. But let me say this though, too, Sim. On the flip side, okay? NBA 2K18. All right. Look, okay, there's this thing about defense, right? All right, now, this is a point of emphasis that we make about Madden, right? When we see people go online, go on Twitter and YouTube, and DJ, you made a fantastic point with that. Fanboys ruin the game for everyone, and you are absolutely right. That is truth right there. But what I'm saying about 2K18, all right, core gameplay. I'm not talking about neighborhood and all that. I'm talking about core gameplay. Just when you play, whether it's my career, my league, play now, whatever. Defense, all right. There are techniques in basketball with playing defense, just like how there's techniques in football. Offensive line has techniques. D-line has techniques. Secondary, they have techniques as well. Wide receivers have techniques. Running backs have techniques. It's all technique, right? So in NBA 2K, I see what they're doing. I see what they're trying to do, what they're building on. This is year one, but I see what they're trying to do. Now, while I do understand the defense does look really loose, okay? You want to drive to the basket and dudes give you a bypass to an honest extent. You see it happen. But what I want to say, though, is that if you actually pay attention to what happens in the NBA, a lot of defenders let people drive past. They let them drive past because either they're trying to lead them to a certain direction toward as far as driving to the rack, or they're trying to make a play on the backside on purpose because they rely on their ability. They rely on their agility, their quickness to recover, things like that, right? So, excuse me. So I saw, there was a video, and shout out to Apex. Much respect to him. I understand what he's trying to say, but he picked poor examples, and he took Kawhi Leonard going up against Steph Curry. Now he's controlling Steph. He drives to the rack multiple times, and he just let him drive to the rack. And he's like, look at 2K17 and how they front him the whole time, and look how much harder it is to get to the rack. I'm like, okay, I see your point. But the difference is they're actually implementing the defensive technique of the player. That's ridiculously insane. Kawhi Leonard on one-on-one defense lets players drive past him a decent amount of the time and makes the play on the backside. Specifically, I watched a video about it earlier today. What he technically does, he lets the player go past him because he likes to block the ball on their outside hip. So he likes to purposely drive past, give them the illusion that he's out of the way, and he's already there. He's right on the backside. Boom. Gotcha. Now, he does front people on defense too, but when he's fronting, he's going for the steal. He's purposely going for that steal, and that's it. But if he's going to go for the block, he'll let you drive past and make it on the backside. I looked at John Wall. He does a mix of that. He does a lot more playing on the ball, drive past, but he does let people drive past, and he'll make the play on the backside. He does the same thing. Kobe Bryant does the same thing. Ron Artest does the same thing. The funny thing is that the best defenders in this game do it the exact same way. They don't all just front you all the time. Oh, I'm just going to front them. And think about it. If you're a bigger man and you got a smaller, faster guard, don't you think it would make more sense to use your length to your advantage and try and position yourself to contest him when he goes up for his shot? Instead of saying, all right, I'm going to stay in front of you no matter what, where he could really mess you up. He got all this quickness, and I'm going to try and stay in front of that. Shaq did the same thing to, I think, Steve Francis or Cuttino Mobley back then. This was like 2000. He let him drive right on around and go up to the rack. And what he did was he just let him drive, go around. As soon as he set his feet and went right up, beat it out of bounds. That's what these players do. That's technique, y'all. So what you got to do is you got to do your homework and start looking at these things, man. You got to do your homework, okay? Because the example Apex used was Damian Lillard, he's not a great on-ball defender. And they shown him playing against Russell Westbrook. He used an actual NBA clip. And Westbrook took him baseline. He beat him. He got beat off the first step, But Lillard tried to use the baseline as the extra defender, so to speak. And he tried to make a play on the backside, but he failed because he was going for a dunk. Now, maybe if he went up for a layup, he might have blocked it. But he didn't make Russell go to the basket. See, Apex narrated it saying he made him go a certain direction. He didn't make him do anything. All he did was literally, okay, you going to give me the baseline? Fine, I got this blazing first step. It's either going to be you or me. And he took it and blew past him and got a dunk. That's it. 2K is giving you that same thing now. And now, is it perfect? No, by no means. If you watch SimFam, I strongly recommend you guys watch SimFam. The ace system, unfortunately, is still jacked up. Yeah. Okay, it's jacked up. If you want it fixed, watch SimFam's video. He did a 40-minute video on how to get your defense playing the right way. You got to manually set stuff to get it to play right. But I'm telling you, definitely follow him. And that's a guy that he's a basketball fundamentalist. So definitely do that. Okay. So shout out to him. But I'm just saying, playing these games, guys, we got to lean more on fundamentals with making these points. We just can't leap out here and say, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. Unless it's blatant glitches and bugs and stuff, which we all know, when we see all that, of course, call that out. But when we see things that logically, if you see it and it doesn't happen, it's not going, like things aren't going right or the game is not playing right for whatever reason, all you need to do is go ahead, look up, do some research first. Find out. Let me see how this guy plays on-ball defense. Let me see a defensive highlight reel of this guy. What does he do when he plays defense? When I was playing a game, I was playing against the Lakers when I did my first stream of 2K, I think. And I beat the Lakers. Lonzo Ball could not. He couldn't stay. He couldn't stay in front of me for nothing. Because you know what, Lonzo Ball, if you look at his college reel, especially his scouting reel, when it comes to on-ball defense, he is not that good. He makes once again, funny coincidence. He makes his plays on the backside too. He is not a front-facing defender that could just stand there and lock you up. See what I'm saying? So these are the kind of things we got to look out for. What I do, I don't just look at the video game and say, wait, that ain't right. I got to look at what this guy actually does in games. Like, what tape do I have? Let me look at a highlight reel and see how he does. What does he do best when he's playing defense or when he's scoring? What is he doing? And I know DJ will like this, and I'll throw it back to you, Sim. I had played a little bit earlier on this morning. Yesterday. I was playing some 2K18. I'm playing against the Wizards. It's my next game I got with the Pistons. And John Wall took it coast to coast on me twice because my defense was slipping. And you know how Wall does. From time to time, if your defense slipping, he'll take it coast to coast on you. He'll push the pace and take it all the way to the rack. He took it one time, he took it up, got a layup. Next time he took it and got an and one, dunked on my guy. I'm like, yo, look, that's why we always say 2K is almost there. And they got the potential to get it done. But at the same time, look at what Live is doing. This one update, I can't blame Ray for saying I'm good on 2K. This one update alone in Live is doing a lot for it. So I can only imagine what happens when they do another update. And when they do more updates and what else they can add to the game this year before we even go to 19. I already said give it about another 2 games and maybe 3, but at least 2 games. And they'll really have some good stuff. This game will be solid. So that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that there's some good stuff here. We got some good stuff in these games to build upon. New systematic flow in place for both of these games, and I can't wait to see what both of these games do. But we got to nail these cats when it comes to these gameplay issues and stuff like that. We knew the servers were going to be a problem, and look, Sim and I both said here a week before, if the servers are right, they got something with that neighborhood, man. That neighborhood is going to be sick. But
what's up with the servers now? I haven't even checked.
Oh, well, as far as I know, the server is still jacked up. I don't know if people even got their refunds yet, because I mean, I saw a lot of 85s running around there, and then they lost.
Oh man, and we can't forget those that deleted my career players.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So all those $150 purchases lost a player right down the drain, back to 60. I don't even know if it's rectified. So I don't know. But see, that's the jacked up part about it. That's why offline, hey, look, offline life is looking real good right now with these games, real talk.
Yeah, man.
And this is where, and I will say this is where NBA Live can capitalize. Show your functionality. People need to show this game off and give it a lot more love than it's getting. Showcase how this game is functioning, man. Seriously. And I'm not saying that to be like all hell live and you know, down with 2K. No, make 2K step the heck up. Holla at Microsoft and get a dedicated server or something. Like, they need to do something. Shoot, because they got to get their stuff together with their online play, man. It doesn't make sense. I want to see Live keep evolving, but 2K got to get that stuff right. Seriously. So I'll throw it back to you, Sim.
It's crazy, man, as far as gameplay experiences. Again, another thing I'll hit on. Offline, I'm gonna be honest. Online, and it's only because I have the ability to where I'm generally connected. I don't have any disconnection issues. I haven't really had any in the last 2 years in Madden, right? And I'm able to play in a sim league. That's my most enjoyable experience sports game wise online right now, is playing Madden, because I'm able to play with 32 other people who are like-minded. Every now and then you get some guys that you got to boot out of there, and the connectivity is great for the most part. I play MUT from time to time just to fool around, but I'm not a heavy MUT guy. I don't play online head-to-head like that. You know, sometimes I'll jump in the wild just to see what's out there, because it helps you, you know, kind of see what's broken in the game. I always have to do that so I can relay it to the devs, because you're going to find more issues against a user. But as far as online, that's been my best experience, because, again, like when I try to play live run, and I'm sure I'm going to be able to get on with Smitty and Shop and some of these guys at some point, where it's guys I know. But you go out there and play with somebody you don't know, no fun. Ain't nobody passing the ball. NBA 2K, I don't really use my player that often, but the times I had tried to do it in the past, is the same issue. You know, in Pro-Am, and it's just crazy. It seems like as much online access we have now, it seems like everyone is having the best experiences offline. And I can agree with what Ray said, because I remember I was saying that at first. Remember I told you guys, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you the real reason why I may not get 2K. I said because live is a playable game. I didn't pay for live. And I was like, if I just want to play basketball, I might not rush to buy it. But as I played the game more and more, I said, you know what? I am going to buy it, because I play these games for two different reasons. I prefer just my experience. I like playing live right now for the live run stuff and the league and the Drew and all of that kind of stuff, right? But my franchise experience, I get that from 2K. None of which is technically hardcore online, which, you know, live run kind of is, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like I'm fully committed to being online, because I play a lot of play now games and live as well, because I like the gameplay. Love the gameplay in 2K as well, but in 2K has that depth. That my league, man, that's my addiction. So that's why I have both games. But like Smitty said, it's almost like online is winning. I mean, offline is winning, even in Madden. I play the games. Matter of fact, I posted it on my channel today. I played the Ravens versus the Jags, you know, just to do a little shout out to, you know, the UK folks. I know there's some people that follow me from the UK. They might even be watching now, you know, just a salute to them, since that game is in London this week, right? And also, you know, some other stuff on the back end, but y'all don't need to know all that. But playing that game, and I put QB accuracy to 15 for both user and CPU. And shout outs to Charter 04 if he sees this. Me and him both now have we feel like that the sliders for pass coverage and pass reaction is still a little crazy. Seems like the lower you put it, the better they play. I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't believe it, try it for yourself. So I put pass coverage and reaction time to 10, right? Left everything else default. Game speed on fast is just my preference. All pro simulation. So QB accuracy was adjusted, pass reaction, and pass coverage. And y'all saw how that game played out. And I wasn't playing that game to try to create it. No. That's how it played out. You know, the game ended up, for those, guys who didn't see it, spoiler alert, 16-13. Love the way the game played out and played offline. I'm enjoying Madden, even with its flaws. I have a good time playing the game offline, even with the flaws. Same as live, same as 2K, but it is crazy, Smitty, like you said. It seems like offline. I mean, Azure says it all the time. Offline, the game is pretty daggone good. It's just when you go online, something goes wrong. You know, I haven't experienced too many crazy issues so far in the league. We're only in week 3, but you know what? Let's hold that thought, Smitty, because I want to come back to, you know what? No, we can transition into the next topic because this kind of covers it. So I'll go ahead and roll right into it. Talking about dev cycles, I'm going to take a slightly different direction, and then I'll throw it to Smitty because I know where Smitty's going with his. Madden 18, guys, and some of you guys have heard me say this in a stream. I really feel like Madden 18 is taking the brunt of frostbite and other things. Now, that's obvious, right? But let me go a little deeper. It's some things that are popping up, man, that we haven't seen in a while. Rex talked about 40+ legacy issues. Yet some of the bugs that we're seeing, I'm like, where did this come from? Now, I know it has something to do with transitioning over, but I do feel like I can't confirm this, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, but I feel like there were some things that may not have gotten, tightened down enough, screwed in enough in 18 before launch that might have been tighter in last year's version. Not talking about a new feature. I'm talking about something that the normal, nuts and bolts that you have to make sure it's tight and you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's every year. I feel like some of that stuff didn't happen. Let me explain to you why. I know for a fact, and, I don't think this is something, me saying this is, going to cause any type of issue, but I know for a fact that Madden 18 was worked on longer than normal Madden games. Because it was this push, man, of getting on frostbite. Y'all have no idea how much this was a real thing. I think I actually did mention this before here on the show, but Smitty knows this. We're not gonna go into detail, but it was time when you could see the sweat on the devs. Like, it's gonna be tough. I mean, I've heard those exact words from certain people, not named Rex and Clint, some others. I heard people literally say, I don't know. I'm like, what you mean you don't know? You know me. I'm like, what you mean you don't know? He said, bruh, I don't know. We in crunch mode. Like, I was like, what you mean? Like, bruh, like, frostbite is causing a lot of problems. Let's just say that. We'll leave it there. I was like, got you. So the cycle is not as long as most people think anyway. But I'm starting to see it, man. I mean, for the most part, let's be honest. Madden 18 looks good. Madden 18 plays fairly well, and it's, it resembles 17 with some extras. But if you really play it, and Smitty knows what I'm saying, and Kia probably have noticed this. There's things that you're like, okay, that probably was one of them areas that they didn't quite get to. You can see it if you really know the game like that. Little stuff like, and it could be something as small as this. Kia pointed it out, even in the video. The backwards shading, little stuff like that. Maybe that was one of those things that was like, hey, man, we'll fix it. We got to worry about this right now. I'm just saying, I really believe that Madden 18 has suffered from that in certain areas because there's just some stuff that's popping up and I'm like, wow, how you missed that? But I get it. It's just that it's unfortunate because us, the consumers, have to suffer from it. And it's not a whole bunch of people who are in the position that we're in where we can see it on the back end. We used to be just like you guys, waiting to hear information, get the game, play the game, see the problems, and you have no explanation as to why. You are fortunate enough to have a Rex and a Clint that will get out there and straight tell you the truth on Twitter. They'll straight up tell you what's wrong. I mean, shoot, Clint does it all the time. Clint will even go as far as saying, no, we just don't have that in the game yet. We don't have that. We got to get to that. And it's funny because when he answers like that, I see people get mad. And I'm like, why are you getting mad? I mean, the man literally told you we don't actually have that type of, we don't have that coding yet, or we don't have that feature, or AI is not to that level yet. We got to get there. That's as honest as you can get. Now, I will say, we got to be 100% fair here and give everybody the negative, necessary criticism. I will say sometimes it seems like Clint or Rex will make comments that's kind of like, all right, man, leave me alone. I get it. I get it. They're men at the end of the day. We all do it. Let's think for a minute. Don't act like that you so perfect and proper all the time. We all have been in a situation where we like, all right, man, I'm tired of answering this now. And they do give those answers sometimes, or they'll throw a little shade at you. Like I've seen Clint do it. I pick with him all the time on, behind closed doors. But I've seen him do that sometimes. Like the answer would be kind of like, oh, well, you just need to call a better play. You know what I'm saying? And the dude would be like, nah, that ain't what I'm saying. But what about the problem? I get it. They're men. They got feelings like everybody else. You get tired of hearing the same thing over and over. I get it. But I would just say they want to be a little careful with that. Because you still got to respect the fact that some people don't know how to relay feedback, and some people just don't know how to communicate to people, period. Every other word out of their mouth is a curse, so they just ignorant. And sometimes you just got to chalk it up to that and just let that go. So, but anyway, I think that, Smitty, I really do, man. Just having conversations with these guys throughout the cycle and just seeing how some of this stuff is playing out, I'm like, there were some areas. Yeah. Boy, would a beta have been on time this year, man. But what are your thoughts, Smitty? I don't know if you're following that direction. I know where you're kind of going to go with it, with your thoughts. But yeah, how do you feel about this whole dev cycle stuff, man? What are some of the things that we should probably pay attention to with these games?
Basically, when it comes to giving feedback, we gotta be as specific as possible when it comes to giving those examples. Like I said, in that regard, paying attention to the development cycles, though. See, one thing we got to understand, and like what Ray Pace is up here saying, he said games were good back then. Games were also a lot simpler in production back then too. And they're not made the exact same way now. Like, these are highly budgeted titles, and they don't have the time frame to build necessarily like that. And they can't just take years off because that license, they're paying for that. Excuse me. They're paying for it. That fee is pretty hefty to be like, well, what are we going to do to recoup while we develop this game if they were to take years off? Can't do that. So that's definitely not an option. They're a company at the end of the day. They need to meet profit margins and stuff like that. You got to, you're a publicly traded company. You have investors and shareholders and all that good stuff. You have to put out a product. So that's not an option. And when we look at these other games and games like how, Sim and I, we marveled over the order. we marveled over those visuals. Oh man, look at the bullets and look at this and look at how the clothing looks and look at that. Like, this is a next gen game.
Still one of the best.
Crazy.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still. And that game took that game took like 6 years to make one game. 6 years. Grand Theft Auto, 5 to 6 years per installment. Easy. All that detail, all that, the graphics, all of that stuff. And they even had online issues for a while before they got it ironed out. It took them a good minute to get that stuff in order. Because remember, it took people like a half hour, 30, 40, 45 minutes to get on and stuff like that. People were really upset about it. They had to get that stuff right. Red Dead Redemption. They show, look. They show a smidge of a smidge teaser of Red Dead Redemption 2. Take my money, please.
Can't wait.
It's been 8 years. 8 freaking years since they made the last game. Now I bet you once again, that's a game that's probably on like a 5-6 year dev cycle.
Yeah, gotta be.
See what I'm saying? So this is why I'm saying, man. It takes time for these guys to develop the game and get the game where it needs to be at. And if Madden and this is the other point that we have brought up before, I definitely had emphasized in the past. Look what happened with Madden 06. Look at what happened with Assassin's Creed, even though it was done by Ubisoft. But look at what happened with Assassin's Creed Unity, and they used that brand new engine they had. Look at what year was it? WWE. I want to say 2K had took over. I think they did, or THQ may have still. No. 2K had took over, and they had some engine called the Predator technology. Year one, they talked about how it was going to be dynamic with all these physics and all that stuff. You could barely even see it. You really wouldn't have been able to tell. It took them second, third, fourth, fifth, all these installments. It took them multiple installments to flush that facet out. Now that's just an engine. That's just a part of the tech that's on top of the traditional the engine. This is not the whole engine the game runs on. We're talking about a whole game put on this Frostbite tech. And I said then, you see these hardships these games are going to have with bugs and glitches and stuff. Half the reason why, a good part of the reason why Assassin's Creed Unity was knocked down rating by reviews was because of the glitchiness. Yeah. They had a brand new engine running their game from nothing they didn't do before, nothing they had before. Because you had cities with people in it, and they want to be like, oh, we want to, with this new engine, we could get all this visual fidelity. We could have all these people in the town and everything. We could really get the population and all that stuff right. Okay. And they went ahead and did it. They had to take the L and then move forward and keep building from it. And see, this is the same thing that's happening with Madden right now. This is them taking the L. This is a hard transition. I'm not saying that for people to feel empathy for them and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, the product had to be shipped. It got rated. People paid their money. People were upset and all that good stuff with the game. All right. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm sorry. I got to address something real quick. Well, go ahead, Sim. I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely, man. Here's the thing. Just so everybody knows it's clear. It's like, it sucks. And let me go a little deeper than that. I mean, I gave you the elementary version of that, and I just said that sucks. the problem of it is, man, sometimes I wish like that I was not a game changer at all or didn't have any knowledge of how these games work. Because the part that sucks is when you learn what's happening, it's almost like it puts me in the mindset of a dev. Like, I know why this is happening. I know why that's happening. And I know we're in this year, we're in that year. And it's crazy because when I say it puts me in the mindset of a dev, when I know, and I literally know the vision of Madden and like even where they're going to go next year and the year after that. In the current year, it just makes you be like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas when I was more like in you guys' position, you guys that don't have, you know, that access, or you guys that don't communicate with the devs, you're just waiting to see what's happening each year. You know what I'm saying? And then you're either disappointed or you're happy. Sometimes it's better not to have the knowledge, because when you have the knowledge, there's a such thing as knowing too much. And it's a tough situation, man. And Smitty and I always try to relay these things because we're just telling you what's going on. You know, it's tough to hear because I agree. The consumer side of me is always going to stand up first. I'm always about you guys first, the people first, right? So the consumer side of me is like, why this ain't done now? And then the other side of me, the knowledge side, is like, you know why. It's just, it's tough, man. It's tough as some of you guys think it is. You know, just every year you got to find out, and then you feel this way, feel that way. It's even worse when you know what's going on. Like I said last week, a dev told us one time, again, not the normal guys that we talk about, but and this dev might even be watching the show, and he's probably going to laugh when I say this. I remember him telling me and Smitty like 2 years ago when we laid out a plan of certain stuff we wanted. I'm not even going to tell y'all, you know, what the specific was, whether it was gameplay, presentation, whatever. And my man said, yeah, that's probably, yeah, Madden, such and such would probably be the one. And we was like, what? And he was talking, you know, at the time, it was some years down the road, and we like, wow. And he was like, yeah. He said, let me show you why. I mean, it had the whole thing mapped out. And this is, mind you, let me give y'all a quick nugget. This is at a time where we ain't know nothing about no long shot. That wasn't even in the part of the plans at that time. They knew that they was going to go to Frostbite. So that was already there. You know, Smitty and I knew about that, man, a couple years ago. We already knew that. So I'm just saying, man, it's just a crazy situation, man. And I don't know, man. And see, I'm going to respond to a comment here. I see people, certain people, not everybody, because most of you guys appreciate the information, et cetera, et cetera. You have your own mind, right? It always cracks me up when people say, yeah, man, but you said this, but you said that. And I'm like, but why are you hanging so much on what I say? Have your own mind. Have your own thought and your own opinion. I never understood people who hang their hat on what somebody else has to say. I don't get that. I'm not built that way. I won't raise like that. My pops ain't like that. My brother ain't like that. My sister ain't like that. My son ain't gonna be like that. My wife ain't like that. We got our own mentality. I can hear what you're saying and take from it what I need, but then I still got to investigate myself. So what I'm saying is, I see so many, not so many, I keep saying that, it's just a figure of speech, but I see people that always, some of the same people always, yeah, Sim, but you said, why are you so worried about what I say? I'm just one person giving an opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving an opinion or sharing with you the knowledge that I have. That's it. You don't have to take my word as the gospel. And furthermore, I would say this. If I keep saying the same thing in your eyes, quote unquote, why are you still listening? That sounds like a fool to me. Why would you keep listening to somebody that you feel like saying the same thing all the time? That is idiotic, in my opinion. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. That is just retarded. But it doesn't change the fact that. So let's say let's use Madden as an example. Let's dive all the way into it. If I'm saying the same thing each year, that's just what it is. If it's not changing, what else am I gonna say? Have you ever thought about that? What is it that I'm going to say differently if it's still the current situation? And also, has Madden not improved every year since I've been a part of this program? It has. Has it improved to the level where we all wanted to go, like taking that super next leap? Maybe not. But what I just can't buy into the whole it's the same thing every year. It's not the same thing every year. That's my opinion. It's not the same thing every year. Because if we're going to do that, come on, let's be fair. There's other games that we can say that about. You know, I could sit up here and make a claim about NBA 2K being the exact same every year. It's not the exact same every year, but it's been very similar. You know, from 2K, let's say 13 through 2K17, very similar game. 2K18 has done some different things. I'm liking 18 more than I like those last 4. But it was a toss-up for me, 16 and 17. So I'm just saying, sometimes, man, some of the things that said is like, it's so unreasonable, you know. But, you know, I'm not going to waste my time. And y'all clearly see who I'm talking about here in the chat. This guy comes to every chat. He goes to every stream. I see him in Smitty streams. And then he makes claims like it's hilarious to me. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's a tough situation, bro. That's all I can tell you. Because I can promise you, even when Madden gets it quote unquote right, it's still going to be people that's going to have something to say bad about it. Look at 2K. How many people think 2K18 is the best? And then you got a bunch of people saying it's not that good. So I just don't get why, you know, some people get so hung up on that. Like if you feel this way about it and he feels that way about it, why can't it just be a difference of opinion? Understand what I'm saying? So I don't know, man, but I saw another comment here earlier I wanted to reply to. Let me go back and grab that before we get Smitty back in here. Give me a second. James 37:25 said, it sounds like a Bible verse. James 37:25. He says, that's true, but you guys said the game was good at EA Play, but when it released, it was dumbed down. Then they gave a patch and the first thing guys started talking about is change it back. The DBs are OP. This is my exact point, guys. My exact point about gameplay experiences. So many people right now, go look at the boards. So many people are saying that the DB play is OP, right? Now, let me show y'all how this interferes with what the devs are doing. Let's rewind back, all right? Let's rewind back to EA Play. You have myself, Smitty, other guys in the community. PX1 Sports was there. You had Relly. You had guys like Zan. You had guys like Lights Out, you know, competitive guys. Lights Out, y'all should know him. Competitive guy. Everybody, all of us is coming to a consensus saying, yo, defense tough. Not once did everybody, but I could definitely speak for Zan, Relly, and Smitty, obviously. I know this for a fact in Lights with these guys because we had this exact conversation. The 5 of us, or 6 of us, or whatever it is, we all was like, yo, the defense is tough, but I love it. Loved it. You didn't hear any one of us say it's too hard. It's OP. We loved it. We enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it, right? So we come out and we tell you guys it got dumbed down. Shout outs to my homie, iMav. You guys probably know who that is. iMav was down at the capture event with me. We going in. We telling Rex and the guys, man, what y'all do? Y'all to mess the game up. Lights is down there saying the same thing. Zan saying the same thing, right? We make this big stink about it. Now, hold on. Before we leave EA Play, let me give y'all this piece of information. Not going to go into detail, guys, because, again, you got to protect some conversations because they're private. Y'all should understand that. But it started circulating that there was some concern at EA Play that the defense was a little too hard, you know, for people who were playing it. Now, not us, you know, just the people who are walking up and playing it. You know, you out there shaking hands, kissing babies. You know, the devs are doing that. And the people who are giving their thoughts, oh, how'd you like it, you know, your 30-minute session with the game, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, probably those people. I also hear with some people further up the food chain, they had a little concern. Man, is it too hard, right? So what happens? After EA Play, it gets adjusted. But I think this wasn't confirmed, but I honestly think they over-adjusted. Because when we saw it at the capture event, we like, yo, what the? Zones are, I mean, completely broken. Game launches, and guys like my buddy here, NY Kia, DJ81, these type of guys, like, yo, what has happened? This game, the defense is ridiculous. Matter of fact, before the game even came out, people were seeing that in our footage. Where's the defense, right? So we pound the table and push for, y'all got to do something. You got to fix it. People internally at EA was like, yo, the zones are broken. They patch it, and now look, you got a huge amount of people saying, man, it's OP now. See? You see what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to explain to you guys is this is the type of stuff, this is the pressure that comes down on the developers. Because the people who try to get this, they see in all of that, and they like, yo, they saying it's too hard now. Oh God, it's gonna affect the bottom line. Oh geez, we got to make some changes. That's how it works. I'm just saying, that's how it works. And again, I'll say it real quick here to Smitty, because he may have even heard what I said, but I'm gonna go just run through it quickly again. I want you to respond to this, Smitty. We had a comment where a good buddy here says, James 37:25, and I was laughing. I said that sound like a scripture. James 37:25. He says that, let me find it. Here it is. He says, that's true, but you guys said that at EA Play, so the game was good at EA Play, and when they released it, it was dumbed down. Then they gave it a patch, and the first thing guys started saying is that the DBs are now overpowered. So what I was saying, Smitty, is I went through a timeline. I told them about EA Play, how we all felt, and then the people out there trying the game, gives I said, when the devs out there shaking hands and kissing babies, blah blah blah, them their experiences, people are saying it's too hard. And I said, you got a little bit of pressure from up top. Some people feeling like it's a little too hard. Dumb it down. We go down to the capture event. All of us, a good amount of people who were at EA Play, says, what y'all do? Y'all have messed the game up. You got some people internally that say, yeah, the zones, they broken. Game launches. People see it for themselves. Guys like Kia and DJ and guys like that. People saw it in the footage that we put out before launch. Now they get to a patch, and now you got a collection of people saying it's overpowered. And I was basically saying, see what I'm saying? This is how the pressure comes down to the devs. Because what you think is going to happen if those guys thinking about the bottom line start feeling the same way they did at EA Play? Oh, they're saying it's too hard. But I was just saying, this is my exact point about gameplay experiences. It's too hard for you. Might not be too hard for me. Might be too easy for me, too hard for you. And that's just the facts, man. I mean, people can sit here, Smitty, and cry all they want about, oh, the devs don't do this. Listen, man, at the end of the day, every single one of these video games we play, from what even your favorite game, because I know some people here think that NBA 2K is the best game ever. Hey, it's a very good game. But let me tell you something. You better guarantee that there's things that they do in that game based off of the wide variety. Don't sit there and fool yourself and act like that there's just things that, oh, well, that's just how they are. No. Now, they focus on details, absolutely. But what I'm saying is there's some things that the masses controls the decision-making. It happens in every sport, in every company. So those kind of arguments, I'm just not having those with people no more. I'm not having that discussion, the non-intelligent. I ain't scared to say that. I'm not having that non-intelligent discussion by everybody always pinning it on the devs. Last thing before I throw it to Smitty. Here's where I hold the devs responsible. The devs are responsible for the game they put out. Period. I understand that there's some things coming next year and coming the year after that. But what you have in game right now, I got to hold you responsible for how well that feature works, how well this feature works, how well this looks, how well that looks. And that's where I can still nudge Rex and Clinton and be like, yo, I understand there's some stuff we ain't got yet, but what about this? This is a problem that's in game. Why is the shading backwards? Why does it seem like there's sliders that are backwards? I can hold you accountable for that. What are these 40 plus fixed legacy issues? Because Kia made a good point earlier. I don't know if I've seen them. Not 40. And why? Tell us what they are. Tell us what they are. So we, what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm off of that. My soapbox there a minute, Smitty, but go ahead, man, and respond to that, man. That process, man, as far as how the game just seems like it was good, got bad, trying to get good again, and now you got people saying it's overpowered.
Yeah, well, I mean, you basically had hit the nail on the head with it. Like when it comes to the whole EA Play aspect of it, some people liked it. Others, like I said, others had some problems with it. We didn't have problems with it at all. But that's the whole thing. When it comes to that top-down pressure, like you said, that's stuff that Rex and the team, they have to conform to it. They can't they don't run, and that's the whole thing. They don't run EA. You know what I mean? Rex is not the CEO. Clint is not the COO. And they're not presidents of the company or anything like that. So, therefore, when it comes to certain aspects and elements of the game being worked on, their hands end up being tied with certain things. They got to scale things back. They got to tone things down. They got that's not their choice, but it's something that has to be done.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? You got to build your game. See, this thing, you got to build your game to a point where you can go away from it and say, this experience is going to be like this. That experience is going to be like that. And you don't need to, excuse me, your secondary play, your defensive line play, all of it can be diversified by the play style you choose. I know that we got the 3 settings. I'm not saying that. What I'm getting at is look at a game like NHL. Look at how their game is so diversified that a patch is not going to set everything in one way, and that's it. I can say I'm gonna pick this particular play style, and it's going to feel that way. Like I want to play hardcore. I'm gonna play this hardcore play style while somebody else does competitive or arcade or whatever from a more casual perspective. Okay, well, that's fine. You feel that, you play that different experience, it's going to feel completely like that versus playing the straight up, versus the the more casual setting is going to feel a lot more lighter, a much easier experience versus the more hardcore experience where it's going to be more about you're going to tell if you're not utilizing the proper mechanics, if you're not utilizing your lines, your strategies, playing to the strengths of your roster, you're going to feel it when it comes to that end goal. You're going to feel it in terms of how the opposition is able to play against you. You see what I'm saying? So is Madden on that level yet? No, it's not on that level yet. I mean, obviously, you got sliders that you can set backwards to get proper results. You know what I mean? You can't. The controls end up going. You know, the controls are backwards and stuff. Like this was an issue that was going on last year, and it wasn't happening when it was at EA Play. You know, it wasn't happening like that. So when we call these things out and put it out on the table there in that regard, it's like, what are you going like? What can be done? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And once again, we bring up the whole long shot thing in that aspect of things and say, man, if they didn't have to worry about long shot, man, I can only imagine where this game was. And you heard what Rex already has said about that. He gave his sentiments on that. And basically, boss came down, said, oh, that's what your plan is? Okay, well, we're doing this. This has to happen too.
Literally.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's what happens. Then what do you think is going to be like? What's he going to tell his boss? No, I ain't doing that. Come on. They have to follow those guidelines. So therefore, he went ahead and did it. And it's like basically the plan you got has to kind of go on the back burner, so to speak. It sucks. You know what I mean? And like we said, we're not giving excuses, we're not giving passes or nothing like that or whatever. This is the reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Benefit to us.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the funniest thing. There's no benefit to us at all.
Yeah. You know what?
Trust me.
Hey, Sim, trust and believe. Dude's gonna be making videos because I see people comments and I see videos and stuff. People making videos and stuff saying that, you know, oh man, people need to go down there and they need to tell them this, that, and the third and what to do. What you gonna tell them? That hasn't already been said.
Man,
what you gonna say?
I'm gonna tell you like this.
What you gonna say?
But forget about myself and Smitty for a minute, because I got to keep it real with them real quick, Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
Take us out of the situation. Take all of us out of the program. I can promise you, I could put this house I live in on the line, all the money I have, anything you want. I can guarantee you, there is nothing that any of you guys could go down there and say that the devs don't know and the engineers aren't aware of. Promise you that. I can guarantee, with the exception of guys like Kia, because I know Kia's knowledge. But listen to what I'm about to say. I can guarantee a good 80% of this community would get lost in a conversation with A-Dub. Literally lost.
Without question.
No idea what this dude is talking about.
Yeah.
With the exception of guys like Kia, DSK. Because I see the terminology that they throw around. So I know they know what they talk about. I know Kia is a football man. We all know that.
Yeah.
I promise you. The knowledge that A-Dub has, trust me. Trust me. Y'all can't, you're nowhere on that man level. Listen, man, Pep Hamilton is one of his best friends. That should tell you something. This dude knows football. Scant knows football.
Yep.
Clint knows football. All I'm saying is this. This is not about defending nobody. Because I'm going to say it about 2K. Scott O'Gallagher knows basketball. Czar knows basketball.
Yes.
It's just some things that maybe their game doesn't allow them to quite do. They're in a different race than Madden. They're a little better than Madden in terms of details and all. Yeah. But there's still issues. Some of the issues I talk about, ain't nothing they can do about clipping. That ain't on them. I still got to point it out. But what I wanted to say real quick, Smitty, about the Madden thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be harsh real quick. Y'all know sometimes I got to be harsh. I want to give a shout out to the James, again, the Bible verse. I'm just playing there, but James 37:25. My man says, just think of how many guys came to EA and left due to creative differences. So at some point, you have to know it's someone else pulling the strings because we still talking about simple things like zones. Bravo. Y'all know why I'm applauding that? Response there. This man, he is seeing it. So I'm going to be real harsh real quick. I am done talking to ignorant people. Yes, I'm saying that. And y'all can call me ignorant too. I don't care. You can dislike the video. I'm keeping it real with you real quick. I am done having conversations with those who keep saying, oh, they don't know what they're doing. The devs, da-da-da. No need to talk to y'all. Because y'all ain't even, your mind is not even where ours is at.
Yeah.
This dude just spelled it out. Okay, let me test y'all knowledge real quick. Do y'all remember when Scott OG left EA? Do y'all remember why he left? Now, some of the stuff was private, so I'm not going to tell y'all everything, but it was some stuff he really said out straight out in the public. Creative freedom. Now, who do you think controls the creative freedom? Is it in the devs' hand? Or those people that we hear on the investor calls? That's a pop quiz. Which one do y'all think? A or B? Does the dev dictate creative freedom? Or does the suit? What's the guy? Mike Wang. Most of us, you know, who followed gaming way before I was a game changer, we knew Mike Wang is that guy. Mike Wang all of a sudden leaves 2K, who was at that time rising to the top. I mean, they on the come up huge. And he left, and I was like, whoa, what did I think? Oh, man, he about to get live, right? Because we knew this guy was the genius behind the, you know, he was the, not comparing them apples to apples, but he was like the Rex of that. And what I'm saying is, you know how a lot of us say, yo, Rex is the one that's going to get it straight. That's how we looked at Mike Wang. Like, yo, Mike Wang is that guy. So if he's leaving 2K, seeing what he done built up over there, and now my man coming over to EA, I was hyped. Because I thought my childhood game, let's all be honest. We all grew up on Live. Most of us. I thought Live was about to be back. Mike Wang left in 2 years or less. Didn't it, Smitty?
Yep. Yeah, basically back to 2K. Games. Yeah, and went right back to 2K.
Why do y'all think that is? I'm keeping it all the way real. Now let's keep it even realer, Smitty. If I was on EA's payroll, could I sit here and say this? Would they want an employee? Would they want an employee to talk negatively about the power structure? I guarantee y'all, at your job, like my job, our fiscal year ends in August. So we go from September to August. We're doing performance reviews right now. And in everyone's performance review, you know what you usually see? I don't know what kind of jobs everybody else got, but when you're in like a corporate job, you have a performance review and it says core competencies, core values. Do you think that what I'm doing right here would fit into EA's core values? That should be a living proof that I have no affiliation or contractually bonded to EA. There's no way I could talk about their structure in this video. So that's why, and you know, people can say what they want. Oh, he's butthurt. No. I'm just keeping it all the way real with y'all. Because your view is not that important to me. That 1, 2, 10, maybe 20 views, that ain't that important to me. I'm done dealing with that. I'm done dealing with I don't even want you around. Let's keep it real. Oh, we got a dislike, so I guess we hurt somebody's feelings. I don't even want you in here. We don't want that. It ain't got nothing to do with disagreeing, but I'm talking about if we're not even conversating on the same accord. Look at some of these other chats in here. People are saying, man, it might be the company, it might be this. That's reasonable dialogue. Yeah. But if you still hitting on the, the devs, and this one, Smitty, let's not forget this one. And I'm going to keep it all the way funky right here because y'all can see it, so y'all can tell that we're African-American men, right? Oh, what about that comment that we usually get from that guy, EA slaving y'all? They trying to keep the black man.
Oh, yeah.
Dog. Bruh, come on, get a life. Get a life.
Oh man,
all that kind of stuff, I'm blocking.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. You know, normally I like trolls. That's beyond trolling.
Yeah, that's beyond that.
You don't need that in here, man. Because again, we have people that come to watch this. Developers watch this.
Yeah.
Our community needs to be a force. We need to be guys who are having actual dialogue, giving ideas, voicing our complaints, being stern with the devs and criticizing them like we're doing here. But all this other stuff, don't nobody want to read that. So I'm done. And this I'm gonna call him out. This Nerod guy, you on your way to being out of here, bro. Just go. I really don't understand why you always come here. I come in and I look at Smitty's streams to support Smitty. Yeah, he go in there. He in all of my streams. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to call you. I don't know what are you? Are you a fan, a fanatic, or it's crazy. But I just had to take that moment real quick, guys, because I care about the community that much that I want us to be represented in a positive light. Here's another quick example, and then I'll throw it back to Smitty. Y'all remember those negative things that Dubby said? And I'm not casting any judgment on Dubby. I'm just using this as an example. Remember the stuff that he said on Twitter? Everybody was all up in arms about that. And then there was a couple other guys. I want to say Skimbo, which Skimbo is a cool guy. I've met him in person. But don't you think some of the stuff that we say over here, like some of your comments, is just as negative? You know, and you know, it's not racial or nothing like that. I mean, that's way worse. But follow what I'm saying. Somebody comes in here of importance and see all of that. You know, they get the wrong idea. Oh, these people are just talking. We don't want that. We want to be heard. We want to be heard. There are a couple executives at EA. Listen, I'm not tooting the horn here. That have told me out the blue, good show last night. I was like, whoa. See what I'm saying? Dog, listen, I wouldn't be telling y'all this stuff if it didn't matter. Because when I cut this computer off, I go upstairs, kiss my wife, kiss my son. I'm living life, watching TV. I don't care about this. And I'm not saying I don't care about y'all, but y'all get what I'm saying. This doesn't make or break my life. Some of you guys take this stuff way too personal. It's just video games. If Madden never becomes the game we want, so what? At the end of the day, let's put it in perspective. So what? We can't control that. Don't be so angry. Be happy. Like most of us are happy that we have, like Smitty said, just a DJ, a lot of people. Man, I got a good fall. I got 3-4 games I'm having fun with. That's what it's supposed to be about, man. Not so personal. It's a video game. That's what I just don't get, Smitty. And sorry, guys, for going off of that. Sometimes I just get the urge, and a lot of you people hit me up privately and be like, yo, man, I like, you know, when you speak from the heart, but that's real. This is not that serious. A lot of you dudes are 30 and above. This is not that serious. Give your feedback, and that's it. Smitty and I, we talk to these devs. We go down there. We say what we want. If it doesn't happen, so what? It does not affect my life that bad. It doesn't. And the last thing I will say, some people hit me with this counter, Smitty. Well, you know, some people go to that for their release because their life is so stressful. Honestly, dog, you need to find something else that can help you cope with life. Because a video game might never be perfect, which means you ain't never gonna have real happiness. I'm just saying. Come on, man. Come on now. But apologize for that, but I know some of y'all like when I do that. So again, moving on from that, let's go forward. I ain't going back. And then from now on, when I see nonsense stuff, I'm gonna just block you and we keep on moving. Not even having no discussion about it. Go ahead, Smitty, man. My bad.
All right, no, you good, man. You good. Oh man, you good. Dang it.
Let's talk about these flaws, man. I think you actually already hit on it a little bit, but speak a little more about the flaw stuff, man, because we know there's some people who are diehard live, and we're not picking with you guys. We're just saying, take them rose-colored glasses off, man. You're not helping the game by not acknowledging problems.
Yeah,
not at all. Because then that don't make me confident that when you talking to Connor and Santos and these guys, O'Brien, I ain't confident that you telling them what's up.
Yeah.
If Smitty's out there, giving you actual problems, and you like, nah, it's good. All right, that don't make me comfortable.
Yeah, and you know what? Shout out to Tico. Shout out to good dude. Tico is Corey. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man. Saw you in New York. I don't know if he's still out there in New York, but he was on with K Spade the other day, live streaming in the NBA office. The NBA offices downtown New York, streaming some live 18, showing some WNBA and NBA action, showing some love on Twitch. So gave away some copies and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty hot. That was pretty hot.
Shout out to NBA Live girl too, man. And listen, in my bad on this, because I'm always shouting out Crunk Girl, which is deserved, but I'm as well. Always showing love, knowledgeable, like she said, a live head. I love that stuff. Man. Like I love, and I'm not trying to be, and I know y'all ain't gonna take it like this. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that, but I love when there's like female gamers that really know gaming. You understand what I'm saying? Like love that stuff, man. So shout outs to her as well.
Yep. And I want to say this is, I just, I won't say anything, even though it was a comment I saw in here about A-Dub and saying that, no, this is just reality. Ryan Moody been to the studio before. Sim Gunther, I think his name is. He been to the studio before, just food for thought. And he came back talking a whole different tone. He literally said EA got it. He said the devs know what they're doing. They got it. As a matter of fact, he even said back then he was going to quit making the videos that he made. So I don't know what happened.
Trashed for it.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember that? And while we on that, real quick, true. Smitty,
he did.
Real quick, because I'm going to show these people, and I'm talking about you guys who say you don't watch me, but do watch me. Because I be seeing videos that you're making about me. That's hilarious. This is directed to you guys. I have no issues with Ryan Moody, any of these people.
No.
A lot of times, and I'm not going to say some of them other names. Some of those other names have had problems with me. I ain't got no issues with Moody. But this is what I'm going to say. Why don't you just follow him?
Right. Just keep it over there.
Moody is doing what he's always done, showing flaws. This is what I've always said. I've been saying this to you all for the last 4 years. Why does it matter to y'all what I do? Think about this for a minute. What does me showing a certain type of video that you want to see do? I talk to the devs on a regular, and this is with all due respect. I don't have to do what Moody's doing. Do y'all get what I'm trying to say? And this is not because somebody gonna twist this. This ain't got nothing to do with how I have no problem with Ryan Moody. Do y'all ever hear me say anything about him? No, I'm not concerned. Do your thing. He should be doing that. Yeah. But I don't need people telling me, man, you should be. Why? Do you remember who used to do that the most? Do you remember the time when it seemed like at one time it was just me? Because it was a time when Apex took a fall back. It was a long time that Moody took a fall back. I know Smitty had, I don't want to bring up old stuff, but Smitty had some family stuff going on, and it was a time when I was doing most of the Sim standard videos.
Yeah. Yep. Sim was.
Now why did it change? Because now we are inside and I could call Rex.
Window shopping. You know what I'm saying?
I could call Rex right now.
Yeah.
Tico knows this himself.
Yep.
The same way. And it's not like here's the argument that people make all the time. They don't want to show flawed videos. We are just one individual. And I show, matter of fact, I show flaws in Madden all the time. But even if I didn't, why does my video matter? I'm one guy. I ain't even got 20,000 subs. How many people am I affecting? You see what I'm saying? It's y'all need to get out of your own way. Stop worrying about me. Why don't you be the next guy? Why don't you make a video? You see what I'm saying? Be a boss. I'm gonna get on my Dame Dash real quick. Be a boss. Stop worrying about, man, Sim should do it. You should do it. Because that's how I got started. I seen this finger hit. This guy named Apex. I was like, yo, this dude is, he making videos, the same stuff I be talking about. He inspired, and I always tell him that. Regardless of whatever, it was a time period when we didn't see eye to eye, we grown up now. We passed that. We're cool. We don't talk all the time, but mutual respect. He influenced me to make my very first video. Why can't y'all do the same? That's all I'm saying. Stop worrying about SimFBallCritic and he's not doing this. He's not doing that. Why don't you do it? I don't worry about no other man, woman, etc. I do me. I suggest y'all do the same. That's all I'm saying, man, because I'm too much of a real person, like outside of this game and stuff. I hate seeing stuff like that. I hate seeing complacency in people's mind, man. And I don't want to take this to another level, but I could go somewhere else with this conversation. But I just hate seeing that. I hate seeing people waiting for somebody else to move. That's why it seems like to y'all, oh, he's upset. No, I'm not. I could care less what y'all do. I could care less what you say about me. I don't know any of y'all. What I'm saying is, it just kills me to see people who so quick to just do like this and watch somebody else. That's sucker stuff, man. You go do your thing. That's all I'm saying. And if there's a commentator that you prefer, rock with them. Just like I say about my guy, K Spade. That's my dude. Me and Spade like this, but we became like that because I was following his movement. Then we end up and met out the blue. He was at a Madden event. I said, oh, K Spade, what's up, homie? And with me and him click, ask him. From the first time we met, we was cool. But the reason why I knew of him, because I loved the way he did his commentary in 2K out of all the other people. And I like plenty of people, like my boy Shake. I like all of them. But Spade, it was something about Spade's commentary that drew me in. And that's who I watch. I don't worry about what nobody, you see what, do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? I don't care what this guy's doing, what that guy's doing. I like Spade commentary. I like math commentary for other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with gaming. That's my dude. Love iMath. See, y'all see what I'm saying? I love Anto for the boss talks. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't watch many Madden videos. So when Anto did those things, it wasn't that because I ain't like Anto. I just don't watch them videos. But when he started doing when I told him in person, I said, yo, Anto, you got me when you started doing them little tricks. Like him and his girlfriend playing it. Like the one that got me was the Easter joint where they had 6 eggs. It was 3 that was boiled and 3 unboiled. And then they had that, whoever got the question wrong, you had to smash it in your, like stuff like that. So this dude's crazy. And that's why I started liking him. So I say all that to say this. Stop worrying about what other people do, man. Oh God, I don't know. Y'all, I'm on one tonight, man. Y'all caught me on the wrong night. Y'all kill me with that stuff, man. And like I said, there's no disrespect to Moody or nothing like that. I'm just saying, I'm sure people who, listen, if you follow me, don't go telling him that. Don't go telling him, man, you need to be like Sim. No, let that man do what he doing. Likewise with me. And if I'm not giving you the fix you need, go get it somewhere else. It's sold on every block. You can go find it somewhere else. You ain't got to come to my block. Little hood reference there, but what you got, Smitty, man?
All right. So no, I was just saying, like I said, that was just a brief point that I was making. And even though Moody can continue to throw shade and stuff like that online and everything, I see it from time to time, or I at least get informed of it. But it's all good at the end of the day. Just continue to do you. That's it. Continue to do you. I respect what it is that you do. We're going to be doing what it is that we do. Sim does what he does. I do what I do. And like you said, when we shut the computer down at the end of the day, you got your family to go to. I have my family to tend to. Just like I was in the middle of the show, I had family thing to address, so I had to step away from the mic for a minute. We got bigger priorities and stuff than worrying about online presence and stuff like that. It's not all about that at the end of the day. So, but like what you was asking me before, though, Sim, about flaws, issues like that, stuff like that happening with live and everything. Like I said, guys, look, Tico's one of those guys on the front end. He talks about issues. He talks about them, but he's not like the breakdown guy, but he talks about problems with live. He showcases it, but he also has a lot of fun with live too. And he showcases it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You got to have your gumbo pot of people. You got your fans. You have your people that, that support the game, but will sternly be like, yo, look, y'all tripping. Y'all got to fix this. And it's not that they don't want the game to be, it's not that they hate the game. It's just that they expect better. And because that's just like with Madden. Why do you think all these people are pointing these things out? It's not about being famous on Twitter. They're pointing this out saying, yo, what the heck is going on, Madden? Look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy what y'all got going on. Bugs like what I had happen, come to find out, I take a look online. I done seen 3-4 people had that exact same bug. Dude goes to the huddle. His huddle all of a sudden runs outside the screen, and I'm just standing there with the ball. Ball gets snapped. Dudes are jumping all over the ball and everything and can't do nothing with it. So
I ain't seen that one.
That's happening. That was happening during my stream, remember?
Oh, that thing. That's a good point. A lot of people come at us. We don't see everything. That was the first time I seen that happen watching Smitty stream that night.
Yeah, see?
And I know other people posted pictures, but it has yet to happen on my console. And that's another thing. We can't see it all, guys, just because we play it at EA Play or down in the studio.
Think
We're
about,
not gonna see it all.
But this is the other thing to think about, though, Sim, as well. Think about this. What QA department in any corporation is going to be able to fully account for the millions and millions of people that are going to play these games? You know what I'm saying? Hundreds of thousands to millions. All different kind of mindsets, all different kinds of visions and perspectives that people are going to have. They're not going to be able to fully account for all of that. No one is. So this goes to any company, especially products like this. You can make a car and say, you can make a car, you can make a shoe, you can make a video game that'll address 90% of community issues that you see online. I promise you'll have 150% more brand new issues that people are going to be like, oh man, this is messed up. Man, this ain't right. Man, what happened to QA? What, they ain't fixed nothing. Like, it's always going to happen. And that's not to excuse nothing, but that's the reality of that kind of situation. You know what I mean? We want the games to be as crisp as possible because we're paying our hard-earned money for these games. Excuse me. And what I definitely would also say on the side of NBA Live, y'all should have went ahead and purchased this game when it was $40 before the game launched.
Yeah.
Because this is a gem of this is a nice gem of a title that's being slept on, especially in the gameplay department. There's some really good stuff that they have in this game, you guys. I'm telling you. They got it
in the red box. I have not in my area.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
2K is in there, but I'm only saying that for y'all know I'm an advocate of that old red box. I haven't seen live in there. I'll look again maybe tomorrow, but I haven't seen it. So
there it is.
You have to buy it for $40.
Exactly. And see, that's the main point. See, Smooth said it best. How can video games be perfect if real life is not? There it is. There it is. So, you know what I mean? That's the bottom line right there. So, because launch shot was a big party, can't doubt launch shot. Yeah. Well, when you think about it like this. It's pretty simple. If I have a scripted story that's supposed to go from point to point, point to point, point to point, point to point the whole way, if Madden, Live, 2K, NHL, FIFA, PES were all just quick time event games where there's only a smidge of independent gameplay, these games would all be 10s. They'd be 10 out of 10s because everything is picture perfect in terms of how it plays. You barely control anything. You just watch it and you pick decisions. So, yeah, of course, the gameplay will look masterful. It will look gorgeous. That's why those Telltale games do as well as they do. Because the gameplay mechanics are subtle. It's really about the decision-making and story that captivates people. They're like, yo, that Walking Dead was crazy. It's because of how the gameplay is built. How the game is built. It's not all running around shooting. You got these complex shooting mechanics and you got this AI system that's got to deliver on no. You don't have that. See what I'm saying? So there's a big difference in that versus when you're talking about video game. When we're looking at these video games, we're talking about, we want these games to think, anticipate, everything else with human-like reactivity, or as close to it as possible on the football field, baseball. On the football or baseball field, on the ice, on the soccer field, on the basketball courts. That's what we're looking for. And we want to see these games get as close to it as possible. The thing is, as they make their strides, we call out these problems along the way. And some games are going to have bigger hardships than others. Madden going to Frostbite, I knew it was going to be a problem. I've been saying that it's just a matter of how big. Is it going to be a big problem or is it going to be a small? I personally, offline, I have a great time with it. Even the few online games I play, like in our Sim Standard League, I have a good time with it. It's legit. Like, I'm having a legitimately good time with the game and the way it functions. Now, is it perfect? No. When I stream the game, when Sim streams the game, and we see all kinds of mess up stuff happen, dog, hit record. Look at this jacked up stuff happening. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. Like, we call all these things out and we put all this stuff on the table. Man, it's going to be hard for these guys to translate how football is. And that's the thing. I watch on Sunday, and I watch these games on Sunday, and I'm like, ain't no way in the world this community would honestly be ready for a Madden to play anywhere remotely close to what we see on Sunday. Ain't no way in the world. The way these games unfold, you know how, off of this one thing alone, and I'll throw it to Sim, people will go ape nuts over and scream patch, update all day. You know how many times players trip up and fall over their own feet in open space with no one touching them? They could just change direction, subtle, change of direction. Yep. And they tripping, stumbling, bumbling, falling, slipping, sliding, all that. It happens every week. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't happen in the rain. It just doesn't happen in the snow. Man, they will be indoors on the turf, and they will trip and fall all over the place during the course of the game. So when that kind of stuff happens, like you see it, Sim. You see running backs get handoffs, duck low, and they can't stay up. They can't stay up for nothing. They'll shoot through the hole untouched, and all of a sudden they'll do it 4, 5, 6 times in the game. They'll stumble, fall over, can't keep their own balance. But you're supposed to be this pro running back, right? You're supposed to know what to do. Put something like that in Madden. Let 2K come back and make a game and do it. Matter of fact, let Sony come back. Let Sony be the ones that make the game.
Please do.
And they put that in there. Yeah, I'd rather it be Sony at the end of the day, real talk. But if they did that, you know how many people would have a conniption and go ape nuts and be like, man, this is some bull crap. It's just like what people are saying about NBA 2K and these guys, I just run and I can drive right past them and I'll get into the hole. Apex got blocked twice in that video. Like once or twice. No, at least once. He got contested twice at least. And he was like, they just let me go to the hole and make the basket. No, that's technique. See, that stuff you see happen in the NBA in these highlight reels. All you gotta do is look on YouTube and you see them. That's all you got to do. And see, people don't see that kind of stuff, and that's what gets in the whole pursuit of we want it to be realistic. We want it to be what we see on TV. A decent number of people aren't even paying attention to what happens on TV. And we got to do, we all as a community, we have to do a better job of that. If we're going to call these things out, make sure that we're seeing it legitimately unfold the right way, properly in real life. And then make these points and say, you know what, it'll be cool if this game could get in the ballpark of it, let alone if they actually get it. Because in the midst of us wanting control and wanting authenticity and realism, if they did all these realistic things and make these games the way they truly could replicate the sport, people would be scraping paint off the walls. And you would have the person that you believe was so sim and so all about authenticity, they'll be scraping paint off the wall, going ape nuts and going crazy, talking about how the game is broke. When it's not broke, it's legitimate technique in that sport. So just want to point that out. Got to bridge that gap, y'all. We gotta bridge that gap. So
it's crazy, man. It's really crazy to that because we've been saying that. I mean, you look at the game tonight. I don't even know who this dude is. Number 77 on San Francisco. He big as all outdoor, but he's getting straight bullied by Donald and Barwin. And as big as he is, that ain't even mattering. And that's what I'm saying. Stuff like that. But some people, is what I always say, Smitty, they got the video game mentality. Let's be honest. Some people start complaining when what they expected to work didn't work. Very few times do people realize, well, maybe he's better than this guy. Or like I remember I did a video on Sim Standard like 5 years ago using 2K5. And I said, do we ever think that maybe the devs program missed blocks and stuff like that? Like how do they put that in the game where people will accept it? And that's a very good question. Because I watch my Pittsburgh Steelers on Sundays and I see stuff like, come on, man. You know, like, what are you doing? How you missed that tackle? Why weren't you in position to get that? But then when you turn around and see it in Madden, and we're not saying Madden is perfect. We're just saying imagine if it was a perfect game. If it was a pure, perfect simulation of the NFL, you would see issues like no other. What was the game the other night? The Giants and the Lions. Smitty was watching it like we all were. Flowers is Jesus Christ, man. This dude, and I don't like talking about people. He's in the NFL. I never made it there. But, bruh, and the dude on y'all team, I forgot his last, Brown or something his name is. He's a tackle too. I can't remember his name, man. He was a high draft pick. Not for y'all, like for somebody else. And that he was getting beat up. And it, you know, people were just saying how the tackles on both teams, but this is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
When you get the game like that, there's gonna be times where the Seattle defense shut you out.
Yep.
The Ravens defense looking so scary so far in the first 2 weeks, picking off everything, causing fumbles. But who's going to be able to accept that? That's exactly. I don't think that balance will ever happen. Nobody's ever going to accept that. See? So it's, and again, you know, it's going to be people saying, yeah, but in Madden, no, but we're saying if the game was a perfect, pure replication, do you know how many issues you would see? Come on, Steelers fans. Mike Mitchell. Do we always say Mike Mitchell was out of position? So what if Madden replicated that perfectly and you had to compensate for Mitchell being out of position in pass coverage? Like NY Kill would break my poor Steelers down when he's like last year. He said, man, because of y'all's personnel. And they did. They ran a ton of cover two. We ran a ton of spot coverage because at that time, we didn't have the guys to do more man technique and matching. They're transitioning to that this year. But are you going to accept that? See, so it's never people who don't accept that these things happen in real life will never accept it in the video game. So it's always going to be that, you know. But as we wrap up here, man, one last thing I did want to say to Oh man, I just got a text, man. My mom's in the hospital, guys. Jesus. So I'm definitely gonna have to wrap this up real quick here. One thing I wanted to say that NBA Live girl mentioned. Don't everybody have to display videos and stuff in person? It's perfectly fine to just do it in the DM. Like, have y'all ever heard of the term hustling backwards? It's technically hustling backwards for Smitty and I to still do things the exact same way we did 6 years ago. When I could pick up a phone and call a dev or DM them, and I mean, we are constantly talking about problems. You see what I'm saying? Or we could talk about problems that has happened during the cycle making the game. So it's kind of counterproductive to me. And do y'all notice every time I put out a video, what do I usually say? Yeah, I'm doing this just so you guys, sometimes I let you guys know what I'm talking to them about. You don't ever hear me say, oh, the devs need to see this. They already know. So if you're looking for me to be that guy, it's pointless. I don't need to do that. It's pointless. Making thousands of Madden flaw videos. And like I said, me not doing it doesn't save Madden. It don't help them. Got plenty of other people out here showing flaws. So stop worrying about that, man. I send them stuff daily. I can show you on my phone, me and A-Dub talking right here in text. So that's all I wanted to say, man. She was absolutely right on that. It makes no sense to come on, man. Y'all kill me with that, man. Like I said, get off of social media. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Worry about your own life. Or if you want to be the new voice, do it. You do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I appreciate, all the thoughts, guys. Just to give y'all, some background. My mom was experiencing a little bit of asthma earlier in the week. So, I'm thinking that's probably what it is. My dad called me. And then my wife just texted me. So, I would assume she would, if it was something crazy. So I thank you guys for, the well wishes and all of that. It sucks though, man, because it's my son's birthday party this week, so they probably not gonna be able to come. So it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle. So that's life though. See, now that's a perfect way to end it. Y'all see why I don't care about no social media, video game. It's life, real life stuff, man. Who cares?
Yeah.
I would like these games to be perfect, but if they're not, so what?
Yeah.
So what? Don't matter. But what you guys, Smitty, man, as we close out, man?
Not much, man, other than, like always, I appreciate, everybody coming through, hanging out, being in the chat and everything and what have you. Definitely, like I said, we definitely praying for Mama Sim F-ball, what I'm saying, without question. But yeah, thank you guys for coming through and hanging out with us. And like what Sim said, man, ultimately we enjoy these games. We give feedback because we enjoy these games as well. But we're not going to sit up here and just deal with ignorance and stuff like that. That doesn't do anything in that pursuit. It's a real simple pursuit. We can do it. We can do it and get to the ultimate goal by just being cooperative with each other and things like that. You know what I mean? Keeping it 100. That's all we need to do. And we saw it in the chat here displayed. People understood. People got it. So it's real simple to do the math and understand how this system works. If you don't get it, speak to people and we'll go ahead and do that. So, but
people crazy, man.
I don't know what the heck.
That last comment.
Okay, man, whatever, dude. Here this guy go.
Y'all is crazy. But yeah, again, man. I thank you guys, man, for the well wishes, man. It means a lot. It's always great, man, when people can share like acts of kindness. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're people. This stuff really is minute when you think about life. And like Smitty said, we're all in the betterment for video games, but like I'm just done with the nonsense, man, because I'm supposed to be doing the Sim Standard podcast and doing the YouTube videos and stuff for fun.
Right.
When it gets too serious, you know, like I don't need that. I don't need the distraction. You know, this is supposed to be a release and a good time, you know, and us giving criticism and stuff. But all of that other stuff, I've just decided, man, I'm just going to block you and be on out the way. We don't need that here. You know, we all come here to have a good time and talk and dialogue, be stern on these devs from every company. And that's it. That's what we're here for. Anything else, you know, whatever. Take it somewhere else. So that's all we got, guys. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Good luck to everybody's teams, unless you're a Bears fan. And I'm going to support Smitty unless you're a Falcon fan. But other than that, man, hope you guys enjoy. Have a great weekend. Watch some football. And now I got to go deal with life, man. So we'll catch you guys next week. That's all we got. Peace.
Peace.